Hey everyone, my name is Wei. Welcome to my channel. Today, we're diving into something super cool. You know how Photoshop has this awesome feature called Generative Fill? It's great for expanding photos seamlessly. Just pick the area you want filled and bam, Photoshop fills it up for you. No prompt needed. But let's be honest, it's a premium feature. So what if I told you that you can get the same results for free using Stable Diffusion? That's right, totally free. Let me show you with this 16:9 image created by Midjourney. With a little help from Automatic 1111, I can expand this image either up or down. It's totally up for us. Super flexible, right? And the best part? The fill matches the original image perfectly. Now, Stable Diffusion relies heavily on something called a checkpoint to pull this off. Not sure what I mean? Stick with me, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Let's get into it. Alright, let's dive into how crucial a checkpoint is with a quick demo on how to erase someone from a photo using Automatic 1111. First off, let's import that image we just worked on into our Inpainting tool. Now, we're going to cover up the woman in the photo with a mask. To make sure the edges blend smoothly into the rest of the image, we'll crank up the max blur just a tad. Make sure to tick the soft Inpainting option to minimize any visible seams. We'll keep the image size the same as the original. Next up, let's max out the denoising strength to keep things clean. We're going to use an SDXL model for this. Let's go with Juggernaut XL. Okay, got the checkpoint loaded. Now, let's write some precise prompts to better control what the repainting looks like. And then, we hit Generate. Here comes our new image. And oh boy, it's not looking great. No worries. Let's switch gears and try a different checkpoint. The Jagger XL Inpaint, which is designed specifically for inpainting tasks. To really see the difference it makes, we'll keep all the other settings the same and generate a new picture. This time, the result is way better, right? Great. Now that we've seen the power of the right checkpoint, let's use it for our Inpainting and see what magic we can make happen. Let's switch up the image and transform it into a square. We'll select Resize and Fill under Resize mode. Then adjust the height to 1456 to get that perfect square. Of course, you can tweak the size to whatever you prefer. Because we've changed the image, let's update our prompt as well to generate the image to see what happens. You'll notice that Stable Diffusion does the stretching but doesn't quite fill in the details. No problem, we can enhance that. Let's pull this stretched image into Inpaint. Oh, looks it's stuck. Let's cancel that upload and drag it in again. Now, we'll paint over the area we want to fix, particularly the top part of the image, and generate a new one. Seems like the upper right corner didn't get touched. Let's bring this image back to Inpaint and focus on that. A good tip here is to turn off the previous image in Inpaint before dragging the new one. This prevents the old mask from interfering. If you leave the original mask, you'll end up having to clean it, which is a hassle. Now about that top right corner, you might see a scroll bar under the image. That's because I've zoomed in the web page to make things clearer for you. I forgot to drag this bar all the way to the right when applying the mask initially. which is why that corner was missed. Let's fix that now. Oh, and remember to switch the resize mode since we don't need to zoom anymore. It's not a huge deal if we forget, but it's tidier this way. Once we've sorted that out, the image looks good. Now, let's tackle the second half. Drag the updated image back to Inpaint, work on the bottom half, and generate another image. There we go, the overall effect is there, but we've still got some tricky spots. Expanding images with complex structures like cars and human limbs can be tough for AI to nail perfectly. But that's alright. We can fine-tune these minor issues with a few more rounds of processing. The final Inpaint looks great, though there's a slight hiccup with the real view mirrors. They didn't turn out quite right despite several attempts. You could actually fix that up in Photoshop first, then bring it back to Inpaint to perfect it. I won't demonstrate that now, but it's a handy workaround. Let's move on to something a bit more complicated. So, remember that example I mentioned at the start of the video? It's about that image of the woman fixing the car using generative fill. In our previous case, the height of the upper and the lower expanded areas were the same. However, Stable Diffusion doesn't let you set the heights directly. But in that first demo, the heights for the expanded areas were different. Let's break down how that works. We'll head back to Automatic 1111, load up the image, and update our prompt to match the new scene. We'll set Resize mode to resize and fill, and keep the size square, just like before. Let's generate that image first. Alright, the image is ready. Let's save it. Next, we'll fire up Photoshop. Create a new file with the same dimensions we set in Automatic 1111. Open up the image we just saved and drag it over this blank layer. We are going to tweak the fill a bit by moving the layer up, making the area below the fill a bit higher. Hit Ctrl E to merge these layers. Now, select the white area and press Shift F5 to bring up the Fill dialog box. Choose Content Aware for the Fill option. Once done, export this edit image. We'll then take this image back to Automatic 1111 and repaint the upper and lower areas like before. The process from here is pretty similar to our earlier example. I changed up the clothing in the prompt to a skirt and generated 9 images. Unfortunately, none really hit the mark because the skirt obscured the figure. So, I switched up the prompt to jeans, tried again, and the 6th image looked promising. I brought it into Inpaint for some fine-tuning. And here's the final result. Not bad, right? That wraps up this video. If you picked up something new, don't forget to hit like and follow. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Until then, keep experimenting.